If you are watching this show, congratulations. You are on the right path towards your goals. They say, success does not happen overnight. Testament to that are numerous individuals who started small, ignited themselves to take actions, and have reached greater heights. This is Chris. I am your host, and I am your guide in this quest, self-made. Today, we are so lucky because our pilot guest is a good friend of mine. And we will learn a lot from her journey on how she became a CEO. Good morning, Joana.
Good morning to you, Chris.
It's a pleasant opportunity to have you here in our program. So before anything else, of course, we'd like to know who is Joana as a CEO of Laurus.
My pleasure. But before I do that, Chris, allow me to thank you first for this wonderful opportunity that you have given me. Nakakatuwa that you chose me to be part of your show, and I am your first guest pa. So I'm truly honored, and you know how happy I am with excited, nervous, nandoon na lahat, but essentially I'm so happy.
It doesn't show.
Yes, nakatulong yung maraming tubig kanina.
Ayan.
Alright. What was your question again? Sorry.
Who is Joana as the CEO of Laurus Enterprise? I mean, can you give us an idea on how Joana worked as a CEO?
On a day-to-day basis?
Yes.
Alright. Joanna, as a CEO, I would say that I'm a friendly CEO. My own team, they created this tagline for me, and that is leadership in style. So in everything that I do, there's always a system, there's always a process, but at the same time, I'm not taking away fun in everything that we are doing. Also, I always want to encourage. So CEO for me really is about being the chief encouragement officer of the team, because challenges, they are expected to happen on a daily basis, no matter how prepared you are. Whatever that you do, like everything you have foreseen, right? You visualize, okay, this is the plan, this is what I want to happen, this is what I want to execute, and this is the result that I needed from this particular activity or project. But you still cannot count that the result is going to be perfect as you hope it will be. So, on those times that our team or the entire company is undergoing some challenges, especially unexpected ones, I always step up as the CEO or the Chief Encouragement Officer for the entire team. I love to joke around. I love to throw fun. I don't want to take away fun from what we are doing. At the end of the day, you know, that is expected. So, hindi ko kailangan maging matapang or strict with my team. And then pag may mga nagkakamali or hindi nila na-execute or they weren't able to provide their deliverables to me, I try to understand why. Kasi alam ko may mga challenges din sila personally, family or in their own lives, right? So yun yung iniintindi ko na lang din. And I try to talk to that person and provide encouragement from time to time.
Yeah. And let me just point out that the work alone, the word work, sometimes para sa iba parang tedious. It's not really that exciting. Tapos pagdating mo sa work, pressure. But from what you've explained, parang I will be somebody who is excited. Kasi imagine my boss will always encourage me instead of giving me pressure. Napakasarap. So no wonder Laurus is really growing. So Joana, allow us to let us know you more personally. May I know what is the most useless talent that you have? Talent pero useless no?
Yeah, okay. Most useless talent. All right. Okay. I've recently taken this training under Coach Jay Yogawin. It's called Harness Your Strengths. And part of that training is I answer this Gallup Strengths Test. And from there, I found out what are my 34 themes of talents. So out of the 34, I have my top, my mid, and also my less. Okay. And it actually solidified, or it gave me my aha moment with regards to my talent in math. Math is really not my cup of tea.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So there were times before that I struggle a lot trying to compute something or trying to come up with a presentation using all these computations. And then it's taking me so much time. And because of this training that I took, I learned na hindi pala talaga ako, I'm not into numbers, basically. Yun lang siya. And because of that, now, I do not stress myself anymore in terms of presentations or materials that would involve number. I learned to delegate it to somebody who's already good at it. So, nile-leverage ko and minamaximize ko yung ibang tao
Cases
na
in their
nandoon yung
places.
Yes.
Okay.
So, it actually helped me a lot, so much more. I became more productive. And mas naging masaya ako kasi hindi ko na binibit yung sarili ko for something na hindi ko talaga kayang intindihan or gawin. Trading is also part of that. Dati, I wanted to do trading,
Yes.
forex trading, pero talagang nagba-blackout sa akin yung mga information ko. So, sabi ko, ganun, bakit kaya? For some reason, gusto ko siyang gawin, pero hindi ko siya magawa. Until the training, I realized, okay, because I'm not a numerical person, math is not really my cup of tea, so I learned to let go. When I learned to let go, things flow easily for me.
So, minsan kasi hindi natin nare-realize na may mga bagay na hindi talaga natin forte.
Exactly.
But-
because you wanted to do everything. You want to
True,
believe
true.
na when you put yourself into it, you put your intention into it, mama-manifest mo yan. True, you can manifest. But what we're talking about here is that did you manifest it smoothly? Or wala bang stress on your part and pressure? Kasi if you're putting too much pressure into yourself, at the end, mapapagod ka lang, tapos magagalit ka pa sa sarili mo because you're not getting the result that you wanted. Or even if you get it, baka lumampas ka na dun sa deadline na nilagay mo sa sarili mo.
Tapos hindi mo pa rin nagawa.
Tapos di mo pa rin nagawa.
So, I believe it really pays to know what are your strengths and what are your weakness. And when you
Yes.
know that, you can absolutely capitalize on what you're good and those areas na alam mo namang kaya mo din but it will really eat a lot of time, might as well leverage it.
Yes.
Thank you so
the
much.
power of maximizing other people's talent, or what we
True.
learned from Robert Kiyosaki with regards to money, other people's money. So
OPT,
parang ganun lang
OPE,
siya.
OPM.
Yes.
Para sa ating mga audience na first time siguro narinig yun, other people's time, other people's money, and other people's effort.
And resources.
And resources. Ayan. Thank you. Now, Joanna, if I may also ask, what is the best and the worst purchase you've ever made?
Worst purchase for me, wait. wala akong maisip right now with regards to the word worst. But for the best, recently kasi my business partners and me and my husband, we recently bought this farmland.
Okay.
And it's quite big.
I guess it's one of the best purchase.
It's one of the best for me
Okay.
so far kasi yun yung pinaka-recent.
Okay.
Yes. Pero with regards to the worst, wala naman ako masyadong maalala kasi I love to shop. That's the
Ayan.
truth about me. I love shopping. I enjoy it. So, if ever that nagkamali ako ng pagbili ng isang bagay, sasabihin ko na lang sa sarili ko, bili na lang ulit ako tomorrow.
Yan yung kagandahan ng may ability na bumili ulit. Ano?
Yeah.
Alright? So, let's know more about Joanna. Let me ask, what keeps Joanna excited? Or what keeps Joanna's fire burning? But, before you answer that, let's have a quick break. back here in Self-Made. A while ago, before we took our break, I asked Joana what keeps her motivated, what brings out the fire in her.
Okay, what keeps the fire in me burning? It's my possibility, Chris. What do I mean by that? I always believe in this higher power kasi, Chris, ever since I was a kid. Everything that I went through, all the challenges that I've been through, and even the happy moments, I never forget all the happy moments. They are designed to happen to me. Meaning, there's a higher power. And for me, whenever I talk about higher power, universe, I always pertain to God. So, if this is happening to me right now, they are supposed to happen because it's going to teach me a lesson. Or it's going to make me a better person. Because for me, the goal always is to be better today than yesterday. So, I always get so excited about my possibility. What would happen to me by tomorrow when I wake up? And one of the things that I've learned from Vishen Lakhiani, the founder of Mind Valley and the author of The Buddha and the Badass, is that the segment intending. So before I sleep, I always imagine what my day would look like by tomorrow, and I always try to attract the things that I want to have and the things that I want to achieve on a daily basis. So I'm so excited about the possibility of making all of these things or all of those things happen.
So you're practicing this thing called begin with the end in mind.
Exactly.
Wala pa man na i-envision mo na.
Exactly.
And let me just follow through that question. Does that kind of thinking, when you were still young, you're already like that? Parang, you're like this individual who has a strong mind over what is happening with you, and yet you were excited. Parang the moment you wake up tomorrow, parang bring it on. Parang I can take whatever you throw at me. Did that kind of mindset, you already have that when you were young, or you acquired that as you mature and as you grow?
In all honesty, even when I was still young, Chris, okay, when I was younger, I love to imagine things. I imagine myself, you have to understand, I grew up in the squatters area. I don't have anybody who is successful, wealthy, or have a good profession to model with within our neighborhood. And my parents, both of them were fish vendors. So, the success that I was envisioning when I was younger, nakikita ko lang siya sa television before. So I love to look at beautiful people and wealthy people. And then there were times that when I look at them, nare-replace talaga yung mukha nila with my own face. And I've seen myself as I think I was 6 or 7 years old back then. I actually imagined myself wearing certain clothes, carrying a certain kind of bag and shoes, and I was walking along Ayala Avenue at that time, and I was just full of confidence. I was just so happy when I was envisioning it nung bata pa ako. And I don't know where it came from, pero I believe siguro sa mga television yan, sa mga shows na napapanood ko ng bata pa ako. So, maano na talaga ako. I have a very vivid imagination. And my mom, I remember now, she told me one time that I love to wander. Like, lumalabas ako sa room, tapos naglalaro talaga ako, hinahabol ko yung mga paru-paro. So sabi ko, ano kaya yung meaning nun para sa akin? So I think yung paru-paro, it's like a metaphor for me na parang, okay, this is my goal and I'm really trying to catch it because I find it so beautiful and I wanna have that in my life. Parang gano'n.
Alright. So, based on sa na-explain mo, it just goes to show na napaka-powerful ng pag-i-envision. At alam mo ba habang kinukwento mo yung sabi mo, yung bata ka tapos nasa Ayala wearing powerful clothes, heels, and good bag. Alam mo, pati ako na-excite habang kinukwento mo. And the good thing is, you were only 6 years old and you have that imagination already. So I wouldn't wonder why you are in this position kasi while young, meron ka na kaagad ganon. So let me just quickly share. Sabi nila, people who have weak mind, every situation that they are in, they see a problem. People who have a balanced mind, when they are in a situation, they see a challenge. But people like you, who have strong mind, the situation, they see an opportunity. And I believe that's the reason why you became a CEO. But balikan natin yung kinuwento mo kanina na sabi mo, when you were young, you were in the slum. Walang masyadong modeling ng success. But look at you now. And I believe before you reach that, marami kang pinagdaanan. And I'm sure yung mga viewers natin nakaka-relate. Meron din silang mga ganyang experiences. And probably they are in that situation. So maybe give us an idea. What can you remember one of the most, should I say, lowest point in your life? And how did you overcome that?
I've shared this many times already, Chris. Whenever people, I get invited to a show like this, or even to closest friends before. I was 18 back then. At the time, my parents, sobrang financially challenged talaga. They were struggling. We were struggling as a family. And I was already in college that time. Prior to that story muna, I remember, I was going to school with only 20 pesos. And then, ang pamasahe doon is around 8 or 9 pesos na yata one way. So, 18 pesos. I only have 2 pesos left in me. And my class would start at
2 pesos?
2 pesos.
Anong mabibili nun?
Nothing. Exactly. And my class would be at 7 a.m. and then I finish at 6 p.m. So, the whole day, I have nothing to eat. But I was so okay with it because I have a dream of getting my diploma. Not only because I wanted to be a graduate person, but because I know how important to my parents yung education. Alam mo yung sinasabi sa ng mga magulang ng mga Pilipino na edukasyon lang ang kaya kong ipamana sa iyo. And my parents, they did try talaga to give us good education. So I valued it so much that I want to return back the gesture to them by making sure that I'm going to get my diploma. However, that didn't happen. So, yeah, pumapasok ako sa school with only 20 pesos per day, and then every weekend nagtitinda ako ng samalamig just to help yung parents ko na ma-survive.
So, na-experience mo rin palang maging tindera sa palengke?
Yes, nagtitinda ako ng isda, nagtitinda ako ng gulay kasi I helped out yung tita ko may tindahan sila sa palengke. And speaking of the palengke, that time, sobrang lowest point na to ng buhay namin talaga. Lumipat kami sa Cavite where my parents were hoping that they will be able to start a new life, but it didn't happen right away. Pagdating namin sa Cavite, yung bodega ng tita ko, ginawa naming bahay. Literally, bodega siya ng mga gulay dati. So, it was infested with rats, with cockroach, but we turned it into a home. Tapos yung tindahan, maraming tinda ng mga manok, isda sa front namin. But we tried to, we were okay with it. Kumbaga parang, at that point, survival lang naman yung importante, right? And then, this is the lowest point. I was 18 years old, and wala kaming makain ng nanay ko. Dalawa na lang kami na natira sa bahay nung time na yon. And then what happened was, my mother, she was trying to look for some food for us to eat kasi whole day na kaming hindi kumakain. So what she did, yung panis na kanin sa kaldero, hinugasan niya yon, tapos nirecook niya, tapos nilagyan niya ng asin para magkaroon ng panlasa. I knew because yung kanin na siya since morning pa o the other day pa yata kaya napanis na. So when she served it and we were in this round table together and we were trying to eat that spoiled rice, I wasn't looking at my mom. And then she wasn't looking at me too, but I know that both of us were crying silently. I'm not a mom yet, but I have a very strong maternal instinct kasi simula nang matagal na ako nagpa-provide for our family. So I couldn't look at my mom because I wanted to preserve the little dignity that she has for herself or she had for herself at the time. Pinakamasakit na magagawa mo bilang isang magulang yung hindi ka makapag-provide sa basic needs ng mga anak mo. And I understand that totally. And I don't want to look at my mom and tell her na ito na ba yung best for you? Because I know that was the best for her at that moment. But then, when that was happening, something in me clicked. And I told myself, this would be the last time that I'm going to eat a spoiled rice. That this is going to be the last time that my family, or especially my mom, na mararanasan namin yung ganong klaseng paghihirap. I told myself that I will no longer be a victim of my circumstances. Rather, I'm going to control my life because I have the power to control my life. And I know that God is there and He's just waiting for me to ask whatever it is that I need. So I made a decision. I stopped schooling that semester, although my father was trying to give me the money, but I didn't accept it. And then bumalik ako sa Manila and I worked for my aunt and she accepted me for the job and I'm so grateful for them. If you are watching Tito June and Tita Emmy, you know, I'm always so grateful to both of you kasi pinagkatiwalaan nila ako doon. So that's when my life changed a bit. When I stopped schooling and become a working student.
Grabe yung experience mo. Buti wala akong tissue rito, muntik talaga akong maiyak. But I believe hindi lang ikaw ang nakakaranas ng ganyan, ano? There are some of our viewers who also have that kind of experience. But the biggest thing about that, just like what I had mentioned, strong people see the situation as an opportunity, just like what happened to you. Nagkaroon ka ng parang idea, nag-spark sa'yo, yung lumabas sa'yo yung fire, na ignite ka na you promise yourself, this will never happen again. And I believe that experience shaped you like who you are right now and why you are successful. Now, based from those experiences, Joanna, how do you capitalize on that? But before you answer that, we will have a quick break here in Self-Made. And we are back live here in Self-Made. Joanna, grabe yung kwento mo kanina, no? I mean, I'm sure sa mga audience, meron ding nakaka-experience ng ganyan. But you know, not everybody has the ability to bounce back. Pero ikaw, yung experience mo, yung struggles mo, I'm sure you use that to capitalize at nagagamit mo ngayon bilang CEO ng Laurus. So can you share to us, ano yung impact ng experience na yon na siya ngayon ang nagagamit mo?
That's a good question, Chris. Okay. I'm reminded, by the way, of this quote, the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. Okay. So when you look up in the sky and you couldn't see any light, believe that something good is going to happen and eventually life would be so much better for you. So going back to your question, how am I capitalizing on that? Sobra kong nagagamit yung experience na yun, Chris, because hindi naman naging maganda yung journey ko. O parang hindi naging madali yung journey ko from the person that I was before to the person that I am right now. I've been through so much And whenever I am undergoing some tough challenges, I'd always remember that moment na nakasurvive nga ako with only 2 pesos, and sometimes nakapag-survive nga ako, nagtitinda ako na sa palengke para lang makabili ako ng shoes. Kasi dati talaga, Chris, yung shoes ko worn out na. But I had to wear it. So ang ginawa ko, nagtinda ako ng samalamig, tapos meron akong 5 pesos na kinikip every day from the profit, until 1 month after, nakabili ako ng 300 pesos na shoes. So it was good enough for me. So every time I'm undergoing challenges, whether it's personal or professional, I would always think that if I was able to survive that tough moment in my life before, and until now, nakatayo pa rin ako, then walang hindi kakayanin if you really want it to. If you desire something in your life, you are going to put all the effort that you know. And of course, pinaka-importante kasi sa akin, Chris, always believe that you are meant for a greater reason, that you are here, that you are magnificently and beautifully created for a purpose. I always hold on to that. And I know that whatever that purpose is, lahat ng pinagdadaanan ko dito, parang diamond in the rough. Paano ba naging maganda at mahal yung diamond na yan? It's all because of the pressures na pinagdaanan ng diamond. So, ganun din yung iniisip ko. Right now, I'm a diamond in the rough. And then, few days from now, or maybe sometime, I'm going to shine once again. And I just can't wait to be shining at my shiniest. Yun lagi mina-mindset ko.
Ang daming inputs nung sinabi mo, hindi ko alam kung saan ako mag-uumpisa, no? Pero pulutin natin yung ilan sa mga nabanggit mo, no? So, number 1, sinabi mo nga na diamond, tapos ikakat. A lot of people, when they face challenges, when they face problems, they shy away from it, they don't face it. Little did they know na yung pain, yung challenges na yun, dinidevelop sila actually. So,
Yes.
a lot of us do not understand na these challenges are actually opportunity to grow us. But again, not everybody is like Joana na kayang mag-bounce back on that aspect. And let me also just emphasize yung sinabi mo na parang pag sobrang down ka na and all, di ba pag down ka na, no choice but to go up.
Yes.
Kumbaga nahirapan ka na rin lang, get a reward from it, fight back,
Yes.
and just like what you did. Now, let me just ask, if those experiences are the reasons that capitalize or that drive you to become an entrepreneur, kasi possible naman na pwede kang nag-work or naging employee, which I'm sure nagkaroon ka rin ng ganong experience, but what's the main driving force on why Joana choose to be an entrepreneur and eventually became a CEO?
Okay. I was an employee before, and then I was introduced to the Cash Flow 101 workshop by my mentor, Jerome San. And I went into this, I was introduced to a distribution business at that time. And when I was listening to the person presenting the product and the business, I was drawn by the story of that person, how he was able to turn his life around despite all the challenges that he has been through also. He came from the squatters area din kasi eh. So, sabi ko, this is something meaning there's so much more than working 9 to 5. Are you telling me that if I put in the same amount of effort and the same amount of time that I'm actually giving to my job on my own business, I will be able to get a better result? So that was the question in my mind. So I took a risk on myself, and I took a risk on the opportunity that was presented to me. So what led me into taking the path to entrepreneurship is because, as I mentioned to you, bata pa lang ako, madami na akong pangarap. Ang laki-laki na nang na-visualize ko sa sarili ko. And it didn't stop. Even when I was growing up, and even until now, palaki lang ng palaki. Kumbaga parang, kunwari, few years back, ang pangarap mo lang, magkaroon ka lang ng Nokia, right? Ngayon, ang gusto mo na siguro, magkaroon ka na ng iPhone. So, nag-upgrade lang by the level of person that you are upgrading din. So, ganun lang din siya. Yun lang din yung, parang marami akong pangarap. And I know, and I believe that through having my own business, magagawa ko talaga siya ng gusto.
I want to emphasize yung sinabi mo, no? Ang ganda sabi mo, I took a bet on myself. Now, to all our audience out there, let me ask, how many of you bet on yourself? How many of you took risk on yourself? Kasi karamihan sa atin, alam mo yun, kulang tayo ng lakas ng loob. Yung sinabi mo na belief, malaking bagay. Not everyone out there has that kind of belief in themselves. So, Joanna, can you share to us, how does somebody can take a bet or, have that kind of deep belief in themselves para ma-push sila sa mga dreams and goals, lalo na ang show natin is about self-made. So, if you want to be somebody, number one, you need to believe that you are somebody.
Yes.
So, how to Joanna, get all these things and believe in herself that much?
I've learned this from Jim Rohn. He's my indirect mentor, meaning never akong nag-undergo ng trainings niya or I've never met him in my life. You attract the person that you manifest. Meaning, believing in yourself is the most important and the first step to being a successful person. And when I say successful kasi, Chris, for me, it doesn't always equate to the amount of money that you have in your bank. Success can be different to different people. Okay? Like, if you have a really good relationship with your family or with your siblings, that's successful already. Or if you have a really wonderful relationship with your spouse or a romantic relationship that you always crave for, meron ka, or nakakakain ka 3 times a day with the food that you want. Alam mo yon, yung choice mo talaga na ito yung gusto ko kasing kainin at this moment, hindi dahil ito yung nakasalang na dyan sa pagkaanan ko, then you are already successful. Yeah. So, start with believing yourself. Start on taking a rest on yourself because until you do, nobody will. Nobody will believe that you have the potential, that you have the ability or the capacity in you until you believe in yourself. And then, of course, you harness the necessary skills, the necessary information to make you the best person that you can be. I have this, like nasabi ko to sa'yo one time, go big or go home. In anything that I am doing, I always think, either I take this and I go big, gagawin ko lahat ng necessary, and I'm going to get the result the fastest possible way. Or, go home, meaning none at all. There's no in-between. There's no try for me.
Agree.
Yes.
Grabe, ang dami mo na namang inputs, no? Let me just summarize that quickly. Number one, sinabi mo kanina na, di ba, yung go home or go big. And that's actually relevant to believing in yourself. So, for me, it's like taking a shot, no? When you are playing a basketball, here's the ball, here's the ring, and you're telling yourself, I cannot make it. What do? You will not take the shot. You're not betting on yourself. If you don't take the shot, good news. The answer or the score is 0. If you take the shot, that is 50-50. It could go in or it could go out. But what is important is you believe in yourself. And you take the shot. Good news, when you take the shot, you have the chance. That's why you are Joanna right now, because you took that chance on yourself.
Because nobody will until I do.
Exactly. And one more thing, this is very important, nagpop lang sa mind ko bigla, no? Sabi nga nila, man becomes what he thinks about. When you were young, you were already thinking of yourself as a successful individual. Kaya naman nag-manifest ngayon.
Yes. Law of attraction din kasi, Chris, right?
I
I'm a
believe.
firm believer of the law of attraction and the law of gestation. There's proper timing for everything, and then you just keep on attracting the things that you want for your life. Eventually, you are going to manifest it. But it won't happen overnight.
True.
There are some, parang may kailangan kang pagdaanan. May proseso yan, may sistema yan. So, be patient enough.
Planting season is different from harvest
Harvesting.
season. So
Yes.
don't look for result when you are starting.
Yes.
And sabi nga, law of attraction. Law of attraction. What's the bottom line there? Action.
Action.
Don't just attract.
Yes.
Yan. So, Joanna, as we go on, we'd like to know, how did you come up and, that kind of business? We know na you were started from a particular position until you become a CEO. So, we'd like to know more about how did the company form. But before you answer that, of course, we'll have a quick break here in Self-Made. are back live here in Self-Made. Grabe, friend, ang tindi ng sharing mo kanina, di ba? It's about deep belief in yourself kasi sabi nga, walang ibang unang tutulong sa'yo kundi ang sarili mo. Okay, so, Joanna, we'd like to know no, your journey in becoming a CEO. And of course, before you became a CEO, finorm nyo muna yung company. So, can you share us or give us a glimpse of how did the company, the business got formed?
Okay. Medyo mahaba magiging sagot ko, Tito Chris, ha? Are you ready?
Kaya mo yan.
Okay. In fact, Chris, or to be honest, the company was founded by Jerome San, my mentor and my business partner, sometime in 2003. And the very first event that he did was the Cash Flow 101 workshop. I got introduced to the Cash Flow 101 workshop in 2009. And Jerome's mentor, Bellum Tan, he became my mentor and dad as well. So the two of them, they helped me understand the concept of financial freedom, of passive income, and it's all because of them that I toughen up in terms of business. So, when I was introduced to it, I played it the very first time. I won. I became, napunta ako dun sa, what do you call that? Out of the rat race.
Yeah.
I went
Fast
out of
track.
napunta ako sa fast track. So sabi ko, wow, if I can do this in real life, this is going to be really awesome. So ever since then, because I got so passionate about Cash Flow 101 workshop that I became a regular volunteer to Jerome. So I'm helping other participants understand the concept of the Cash Flow 101 workshop as well until I became one of the core leaders by ni Jerome. In 2015, pero prior pala to 2015, because nga we are so passionate about the Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Cash Flow 101 workshop, so we made this dream of bringing Robert Kiyosaki to the Philippines. Every time Jerome is going to ask Bellum would say that you're not ready yet. Until one day, Robert Kiyosaki planned to do a Southeast Asia tour, and that was the time that Bellum asked Jerome, do you want to bring Robert? And of course, this is the opportunity for Jerome to ask, am I ready? So, yes, of course, Bellum said, however, you need business partners. You cannot do this because this is bigger than you. All right? This is bigger than the regular Cash Flow 101 workshop that you were doing. So that was in 2015, and then Jerome talked to me and several other friends if we want to partner up with him for the Laurus Enterprises business. Of course, the immediate answer was yes, because it's an opportunity, it's a dream that we have been wanting to have or to happen in the Philippines. So we started as 15 business partners.
15?
15, yeah. Quite a huge group, right? And then 1 month prior the event, we became 7.
7? Half?
Yes, half. 1 year after the event, there's just the 4 of us.
4.
The 4 pillars of Laurus Enterprises. And ever since then, it was the very first event that we did, Robert Kiyosaki in 2015. In 2016, we brought Chris Gardner, the Pursuit of Happiness guy.
Yeah.
2017, we have Miss Mary Buffett, the daughter-in-law of Warren Buffett. 2018, we have Gary Vaynerchuk. And then the last person that we were able to bring was Matthew Hussey, the love guru, na super guwapo and super bait.
And I saw your
May ganyan.
picture with him.
Yes.
Yeah, nakayakap.
Ano kami, naging friends talaga
I see,
kami, Chris. And even yung mga ibang mga speakers namin, sina Peng Jun, sina Mac Atram, sina Rajiv, they became friends to us talaga in Laurus Enterprise. Kasi sa amin, relationship is very important eh. More than the business, more than the
True.
money that we can earn, it's having that genuine relationship that really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Let me just make a quick backtrack about your story. I understand a lot of people want to make it big in life, but sometimes there are these few things that they fail to see and understand and do. That's why they do not end up to those big dreams and goals that they want. From what you'd mentioned is, at first, you were just volunteering. A lot of people want to succeed, but they don't want to do their fair share. Sometimes they're already being paid, but they're not giving their best. But on your end, you're not being paid. You're just volunteering for the love of what you're doing there.
Yes.
And because of that volunteerism that you did, Jerome saw your dedication, your drive.
And the leadership.
Then you became a core. And then,
leaders.
of course, if I will build something, the first thing that will come on my mind is, who are the person rallying with me when I have nothing yet? When I don't have the opportunity. I don't have the title. But this person are working with me. Take note, for free volunteerism. Now here comes the opportunity. Of course, the very first person that will pop on your mind are those people who are working with you. Thus, Joanna became part of the Laurus
Company.
And here's the best part. You started 15
Yes.
down to 4. So I guess, well, we do not want to discount them, but sometimes lack of vision, people perish. It's in the Bible. Wag niyo na po akong hingan ng quote. Di ko kabisado. But maybe, just maybe, these people did not last because they lack the vision. And the good thing is, Joanna and the rest have this clear vision. That's
Yes.
why you stick until you have the Laurus Enterprise. Now, just a question for that. I'm sure while you were building the company, there were challenges, there were problems, there were opportunities. So can you share to us and the audience, how do you guys, especially you, how do you handle this kind of challenges in the business?
All right. Thank you for that question, Chris. I remember, I'm not sure if it's Beatles yata. I get by with a little help from my friends. That has always been the thing that helped me survive and thrive eventually in everything that I am doing. So, I remember before I started with Laurus Enterprises, I was actually bankrupt. I did a business back then. So I was working and then I transitioned to business. But because of the so many unwise decisions that I did when I was starting, and I'm not that strong yet eh. Hindi pa ako yung nag-aaral talaga, hindi pa ako into my self-growth. I didn't know that for me to really be a good leader and a good entrepreneur, I have to, ito yung kailangan ko unahin, yung mindset. Ito yung kailangan ko ma-develop. It's not the amount of money per se. Money would come to me when I start developing this mind of mine. Right? So, na-bankrupt ako. Lahat ng credit card ko, kaskas. So, at the time, I was already thinking na, did I make the right decision? And then I talked to and I had an offer back then with a very lucrative salary. So at that time, it was so easy to decide, right? It was so easy to give in to the idea of going back to the corporate world with a very good salary. Guaranteed ka na. After mo mag-put in ang lahat ng effort mo, 1 month after or 15-30, meron ka matatanggap na salary. 'Di ba bakit hindi mo tatanggapin?
True.
Bankrupt ako eh. May mga kailangan akong bayaran. And yet, I asked myself, and I'm so glad that I have a husband who has always been so supportive in everything that I do, Chris. He always believed in me. Never niyang kinwestiyon lahat ng decisions ko in life, kahit na pumapalpak na talaga ako. So, that time, I talked to him and I told him that I'm in this crossroad right now. And I know that nahihirapan din siya kasi starting kami as a couple. So we just got our condo, we bought things to get started with our marriage. And then kasi we have a really good wedding then. So malaki rin yung nagastos namin. So alam ko nahihirapan yung husband ko. So I talked to him and I told him that I had this dilemma. The business isn't going good when we were starting in Laurus Enterprises. And then I have this offer and the salary being offered to me is really good. So should I take it? So ang sabi lang naman ng husband ko, ikaw anong bang gusto mo? And I'm going to support you. So with that answer alone, nagkaroon ako ng surge of confidence and hope. And then kinapa ko sa puso ko. And I always do this, Chris. In every time I'm in a crossroad, I would ask myself at that moment, 5 years from now,
Will this matter?
would this still make me happy?
Good.
Yes. And then, I'd pray. I would really keep myself quiet. And then, I assess. I try to visualize as far as, the farthest that I could. 5 years, 10 years from now. And na-imagine ko, yes, going back to the corporate would be the safest thing for me to do. But I've been through that. Okay? Nothing against the corporate. I'm grateful for all the lessons that I've learned, but I'm not going back. And I know in my heart that Laurus Enterprises is the one thing that is designed for me. given to me by the universe, that everything that I have, all my skills, all my talents, everything that I know, magagamit ko siya dito kay Laurus Enterprises. That's when I made the decision.
Ang galing, no? So, it's a testament really that building a business is not a walk in the park.
No.
Let me just get back to what you said na when you were starting, I can connect that alone you are a drop, but together we are an ocean.
Yes.
Good thing you have these people with you. And the best part, you have a good, supportive partner.
That's very important.
True.
Yes.
Sa lahat ng nakikinig, alam ko may mga partners din tayo. Some of them might not be that supportive. Di ba? And Joanna is blessed because her partner is supportive. But let me share this to you. You follow what's in your heart because that's what Joanna did. She asked herself, will this make me happy 5 years from now? Even if your partner does not support that idea, what I can suggest is you talk to your partner heart to heart.
Yes, being
I'm sure
open.
I'm sure you did that with your husband Marlon,
Yes.
right?
You have to be open in the very first place for the relationship to work and for your partner to support you, even though magkaiba kayo ng paniniwala. You don't have to be on my side eh. Yun lang naman yun eh. But at least you understand, and that is the most important thing to do.
Communication is vital.
Communication, yes. So you have to let him know or her know, this is what I want, this is what I am seeing. Because most of the time, we would assume that our partner, our friends, or the people around us, naiintindihan na nila yan. And that is the biggest mistake that we can do in life, to assume that people would immediately get you. Because ikaw lang yung nakakaintindi lahat ng pinagdadaanan mo. And then until you speak, until you share it to them, that's the only time na, okay, yun lang naman pala yun. Okay, I get you now. Kaya nagpo-fall apart eh. Kasi ayaw nilang mag-communicate. They don't wanna be vulnerable. That's the most important thing.
Agree.
Yes, you have to be vulnerable. You have to let the other person know na ito yung pinagdadaanan ko and yet I still believe on this. Ito yung gusto kong mangyari.
Alright.
Okay.
Now, speaking of that vulnerability, no? Now, since you're running a company, and I'm sure there's a culture that is built on that, is vulnerability one of that? And what kind of culture actually is built in your company, and how did you build that?
Yes, vulnerability is very one of the pillars of Laurus Enterprises, because without vulnerability, you cannot be courageous, and you cannot be courageous without vulnerability, according to Brené Brown. So, yeah, from the book of Brené. So, yes, that's one of the things. Like, we encourage our team to let us know what's happening in their lives, what's happening with their deliverables. Can you do it? Can you really deliver this on the time that I am expecting you to? Tama ba? Yun ang hinihingi ko sa'yo ng ganito kabilis o ganito katagal.
So there's this open communication,
Yes,
transparency, and of course, belief in your people.
Yes, you have to. And then again, going back to the communication, you have to let them know your vision. Because as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, malayo talaga yung tinatakbo ng utak natin, Chris. Compared to the employees, they do not see or they do not understand what you want to happen in your company until you show them. Until you share to them, this is the vision. And then you make them understand and you make them be aligned to that vision and mission of yours. That's the only time that you together with the entire team will be able to work together para makapture ninyo, magawa ninyo yung necessary actions para makuha ninyo yung result.
Alright. Now, based from those things you've mentioned, vulnerability, open communication, the vision, I think all these things form a genuine relationship with the people that you work with. And I believe this relationship actually paved the way that you became a CEO of Laurus. So can you share to us a bit on how did it manifest in that level?
Okay. The truth is, with regards to me being the CEO, it's not something that I envisioned. But it's a testament of the universe or God's generosity. Ask and you shall receive. And there are things that you would never understand pero ibibigay niya sa'yo. Minsan nga hindi mo hinihingi, ibibigay niya sa'yo, magugulat ka. What do I mean by that? So I started as a business partner. So I handled the sales and marketing for the longest time. I'm the chief sales and marketing officer of the company. So I do the communication most of the time because I also handle the communication parts. Yan. And then I'm the one who regularly trains our team. So essentially, sa aming apat, ako talaga yung mas madalas na nasa harapan ng team namin. Ako yung naririnig nila, ako yung nakikita nila. So I was able to build a really good relationship with them. And again, I encourage them kasi, tell me, okay, what are you feeling right now? Okay, so this is what I want to happen. Is this possible? Can you let me know? Because I always tell them, do not expect me to know everything. Okay? That's why I have you so that we can work together. You leverage on my leadership, I leverage on your skills and talent, and work together tayo. Mag-meet tayo halfway. Can you do this? Ito yung hinihingi ko. Pag hindi, bakit hindi mo kayang gawin? Okay, then let's look for a different way. So, nakakapag-form talaga ako ng magandang relationship with my own team and the people around us, even in our community, the Laurus community. Relationship has always been the most important factor for me in terms of business, because for me personally, sales is relationship, marketing is relationship, business overall, it's all about relationship. You will only be able to alam mo yun, yung make a mark in the business world when people remembers you. Okay? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. For me, people don't care how much you know. People won't care even if your product or your business is the best. Kahit na pinapromise mo yung stars and the moon, until they understand that what you are offering them is going to be valuable to them and it's going to transform their lives. Similarly, ganun din yung culture na meron kami sa Laurus Enterprises. Our people, our team, they wouldn't work and give their best until they understand that we are after their own welfare too.
No wonder why Joana is now the CEO of Laurus, because of those culture you built and the relationship you've mentioned. Now, I couldn't agree with the fact that a lot of people would want money come in right away, promotion and all, but they haven't built the right relationship. In fact, you don't need to ask for the promotion, you don't need to ask for the money and all. Just build the relationship, give value, and automatically it will be given to you. Now, also, we cannot deny the fact that on top of those things you've mentioned, you will not become a CEO without the necessary skills that pave the way of who you are right now. So for the benefit of our audience, would you at least share top 3 skills that you think is important and critical in order to succeed in career or in business? But of course, before you answer that, we'll have a quick break here in Self-Made. All right. And thank you so much, Joana, for sharing to us what's your key in becoming the CEO of Laurus, and that is building a good culture and building genuine relationship among your people. But of course, it doesn't end there. I believe there are important and critical skills that one must acquire in order for them to really become successful. So for the benefit of our audience, would you be able to share at least top 3 skills that can help them succeed in their career or in their business?
All right. I'd be happy to, Chris. First is the technical together with the communication. It's very important. What do I mean by technical? Regardless of your industry, whether it's marketing, it's sales, accountancy, engineering, law, medicine, you have to be really good at it. Do not be contented that you are already a graduate, you have your diploma, and everything you learned from school, you would be contented, and that would be enough for you. It's a continuous process. You have to really develop yourself in terms of that particular, especially if it's related to your job. Because the only time that you will be paid according to what you deserve is when you really acquire the necessary skills. When you show people that this is the amount of pay I am deserving. So if you are not getting your dream salary, how many zeros are there? Go back and ask yourself, why am I not getting this kind of pay? Maybe because you are not developing yourself so that people would be willing to pay you no matter how much you ask them. That would be one. And very important under the technical, the communications. Because you might be the very best in accountancy. You can be the best salesperson to yourself. Or you can develop this foolproof marketing plan that even big names and big companies would want to acquire once they hear it. But if you don't know how to communicate it to them, nobody would buy it. Alright? So masasayang lang yung opportunity, masasayang lang lahat ng effort na ginawa mo. And again, going back, it's part of sales. You have to really learn how to communicate whatever that you know. That's the only time that people would understand and get you. Second skill would be leadership. Most importantly, self-leadership. Okay? Because the only time that people would follow you if they know that you are a person of credibility and integrity. Okay? If you're going to tell them that this is what we have to do, pero hindi nila nakikita sa'yo, ikaw mismo hindi mo magawa kung ano yung mga sinasabi mo, do you think people would respect you? No. Right? So you have to develop your leadership, but start first with yourself. Learn how to lead yourself, that when you say something, you've got to really do it. Not because you want to please other people, but because you understand that it needs leadership, that kind of leadership, that you can lead yourself. If you can make yourself, believe yourself, tapos sinusunod mo yung mga sinasabi mo, people would immediately see that and they would follow you to the moon or anywhere that you want to go. Lastly, relationship. Again, I've already said this. Business for me, personally, is all about relationship. If you don't know how to build good relationships with your family, with the people around you, with your team, with your business partners, or most importantly for your clients, then nobody's going to buy you. Relationship at the end of the day spells the huge difference why so many people are successful and so many people are struggling. People would love to be with you. They would want to support you because they know that you are after their welfare, because they know that you value their transformation, their whatever the benefit. The benefit is for them, hindi para sa sarili mo. Na pag nakakita ka ng tao, ang tingin mo sa kanila, how can I help this person? Hindi nila nakikita sa mata mo yung dollar sign o yung peso sign, because sometimes yung nagiging mali natin na parang, paano ko ba ito mabibentahan tao na to? Paano ko ba siya mapapaniwala para bilhin niya yung product ko? Build the relationship first. Make the person understand that this product of yours, that this business of yours is really going to help him or her. And then, the money would come in.
Alright, so grabe no, dami nating natutunan kay Joana. Number 1, sabi niya you have to know the technical side. Kung nasan ka, nasa career ka or nasa business ka. Meaning, you have to be the best, you have to be the expert dun sa industry na meron ka. Because when you are the best, people will look for you. You don't need to sell yourself to them because your result will speak for it. People will go to you. Number 2, communication. Oo nga naman, what good are all those ideas, knowledge, and skills if you cannot explain, you cannot share, you cannot deliver the idea? It just doesn't make sense, right? And leadership, ito, sobra akong naniniwala dito because leadership is all about influence. Nothing more, nothing less. But the question, how can you influence when you don't have the right integrity, just like what Joana said? And of course, proper and right values. When people see that in you as a leader, sometimes you don't even have to talk. People will already follow and go wherever you're going. Whatever you're doing, they will support. And the last thing that Joana said, relationship. Very vital, very critical. So if you really want to succeed, just like what Joana said, in career or in business, build value, build good relationship. Don't always go for the money. Don't always go for the payback. Instead, like what Joana said, how can I help this person? How can I contribute to somebody? So it's like asking this question, whose story are you in? Meaning, out there, people are talking, but the question is, what are they talking about you? Like for example, if I say Joana, Joana is a good friend of mine, Joana helps me in this, even if she doesn't receive anything. And of course, if you keep on building this right relationship, expect nothing but of course, growth either in career or in business. Thank you so much, Joana. Grabe yung learning na nakuha natin sa iyo ngayon. Now, for our viewers to learn more, so can you share to them at least what key activities can you recommend for our viewers for them to capitalize in the future so that it will have a big payoff? Kasi we understand success does not happen overnight. Right? So, what are these key activities that you can recommend that will definitely give them a payback in the future?
Let me start with having this attitude of gratitude.
Wow.
Develop that. First thing, always. Always remember to thank the people who helped you, especially the people who stayed with you. And then, ako kasi lagi talaga ako naniniwala, Chris, na in fact, eto siya. When you said that the show is self-made, the title of that, I have inhibitions. Kasi self-made for me, yun nga, Oprah, Mark Z, these people. And then I never considered myself as self-made. Why? Because I always attribute my success or everything that I have because of the people who helped me along the way. So, attitude of gratitude is very important. That's something that you have to really develop, and it can be developed. Meditation, that's very important. You have to connect to that higher power. And then, start off with a good morning. Like, pagising mo pa lang ako, this is what I do. Pagising ko pa lang, the first thing that I would utter is, thank God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful morning. And then, I'm going to send off my husband to his work with, God bless you, have a nice day today, kahit antok na antok pa ako. Because I want him to have a good start also. And then, read books. Okay? But, not just any books. Alright, makakatulong sa mga novel, maybe because magagaling ka mag-English, in terms of your English construction. But if you want something that would really benefit you, look for something na may value. Like, for example, if right now you're looking, if you want to develop your leadership, maybe you want to look for Buddha and the Badass, Innovation Lakiani, or Rich Dad Poor Dad, or Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, or right now ang struggle mo is about relationship with your spouse and the people around you. Maybe the what do you call this?
The 5 people you meet in heaven?
No. 5 language of love.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you would understand kung ano ba yung love language ng person na to, bakit ganito, bakit hindi kami nagmi-meet, kasi baka mamaya acts of service, tapos ikaw, words of affirmation. Yeah, so hindi kayo nagmi-meet at all. So, look at this, right now, assess yourself, ano ba yung area na kailangan kong i-develop. And then look for the book that would really help you develop that. And there's so many books. Guys, do let me know. Just message me, PM me at my page, Joana Marie, if you want to know what are the books that I'd highly recommend to you for a specific purpose in your life. Maybe I can help you because I've read a lot thanks to my mentor, Jerome San.
Thank you.
Yes, affirmation. I do that every day, never fails. No matter how busy I am, I listen to affirmation because words have power. Anything that you say to yourself, you're going to manifest it. So if you're going to say, ang hirap naman ng buhay ko, guess what? Mahirap talaga yung buhay mo.
True.
Kasi yun na yung na mindset mo. But if you're going to say to yourself na, this is very challenging, but I know there's going to be a way. I'm going to look for that. Wait for
Alright.
it.
Thank you for that, Joanna. Ang ganda na sinabi ni Joanna. No, number one, sabi niya, gratitude. For our audience, that's one of the greatest attitude. Pagsamahin mo, gratitude. You see, when you are thankful, more blessings will come to you. A person who is full of gratitude is like a magnet of blessing. And number two, ang ganda na sinabi ni Joanna, no, affirmation, self-talk, very powerful. Thoughts becomes words, words becomes action, actions becomes reality. So be very careful on what you keep on telling to yourself because you will become one. All right. So Joanna, here's a very good. I would really like to ask this question to you since the program is all about self-made. So when you hear the word self-made, what's the first thing that comes across your mind? Of course, before you answer that, we will have a quick break here in Self-Made. Alright, and we're back in Self-Made. Alright, so Joanna, ang ganda nung mga sinabi mo kanina, no? But of course, being a self-made right now, I would like to ask you a question. When you hear the word self-made, what's the first thing that crossed your mind?
Actually, I mentioned that a while ago, Chris. When you told me that the event is going to be called Self-Made, immediately my thought was I self-made? Because whenever I refer to that word, I always think of Oprah, Mark Z, Henry C, Manny Villar, all these big people. But then when you try to when you explain it to me that you want to feature people who came from nothing to something, or from zero to hero. That's when I made a peace with myself that, hey, Joanna, you have to own it. Because going back, the universe is so generous. You keep on saying that. You have to be a generous giver, but you have to be an excellent receiver as well. So if the universe is trying to give you this and you're not accepting it, so what are you trying to tell the universe? That, hey, you're not worthy of it. So he's going to take it away from you and give it to somebody else, right? So yes, self-made, it doesn't have to. Don't think of these huge companies or these big people around you. Look inside you. What did you do that made you the person that you are right now. And then assess yourself and ask yourself, am I happy? Looking at who am I right now? Am I happy? And if you can answer that wholeheartedly, then you are self-made.
Ang ganda, friend. Diba? Grabe. So, as what Joanna said, it's about what you truly feel in yourself. Because we all know there are people who have the titles, who have the car, the lifestyle, but deep inside them, they are not really that fulfilled. They are not really that happy. So for you, when you say self-made, this is a feeling in you that you can say that I'm confident, I'm good with what I have, and I can ready and conquer the world.
Yes. Being happy with what you have, that's true. And also, keep on believing in your possibility. Kasi there's so much in store for you. The universe is so generous. You just ask and you're going to receive it really.
Alright. So, Joanna, we are so happy that you give an opportunity for our pilot episode to showcase your self-made story. Now, I'm sure there are people out there whom you want to give credit, people who paved the way also to, made you who you are right now. It's an opportunity to thank them.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris. Really, it's a huge honor being here, and thank you so much for choosing me. Ang dami mong kilala na mas malalaking tao sa akin, pero ako yung napili mo, and for that, I'm truly grateful to you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. So for all, ang dami, Chris, as I've mentioned to you a while ago, I wouldn't be the person that I am right now kung wala yung mga tao na tumulong talaga sa akin. And let me start with my parents. Hindi naging madali yung buhay namin, and my parents, nobody is. Hindi sila perfect at all. But I know that they did their best. And for that, I'm grateful for them. Because they did try to give us the best in according to ano yung kaya nila at that moment. And I know that's their best already. So, I'm truly grateful to them. I'm grateful for my siblings na hanggang ngayon, pinapaniwalaan pa rin nila ako. At nakikinig pa rin talaga sila sa akin. I'm husband ko, for always being there for me, for believing in me, even on those times that nagda-doubt ako sa kakayanan ko, sasabihin lang niya sa akin, kaya mo naman yan, diba? And simple words, but
they mean a lot.
They mean a lot. Kasi yung sasabihin niya, kaya mo naman yan eh. Mina-mindset niya ako. He's actually giving me the affirmation. And so ngayon, naniniwala ulit yung utak ko na kaya ko nga. That there's nothing that I cannot accomplish because I have a big God beside me, supporting me. Jerome San, my business partners, Angie and Angie San, and of course,
hello.
Jeverly. Hello to you guys. I'm so grateful to them, and lagi ko itong sinasabi na for people who are in business, my wish for them is to find or to also have this kind of people in their businesses and in their lives, because kami sa Laurus Enterprises, the 4 pillars of Laurus, yung MANCOM na tinatawag namin, we treat each other as family. Hindi kami magkakanegosyo lang. Come high and low, we always support each other. Of course, nagkakaroon kami ng mga arguments, but then respect is always there. Never na nawala yung respeto namin sa bawat isa. My Tito June and Tita Emmy, sila yung nagtumulong sa akin when I was starting, nung nag-decide ako na bumalik ng Manila and work. All the people, ang dami, Chris, all the people who supported me, kaya nakapagpatuloy ako ng pag-aaral. I was able to get my diploma, Chris, at age 25, and so many people from PUP Santa Mesa who really helped me that time. All the clients that I met along the way, all the friends that I met along the way, all my relatives, totoo lang, De Los Santos and Bolo, and now even yung Lazaro, yung family ng asawa ko, I'm so grateful to them kasi kahit sa social media lang, na yung pag-support nila, yung pag-like nila ng mga post ko, yung mga pag-share nila sa mga post ko, it already means a lot. Because of that, many more people are getting to know me. Nare-recognize nila ako. And, diba, napaka-huge nun, especially right now, that ang business natin talaga kailangan mong iharap sa social media. Kailangan makilala ka ng mga tao, malaman nila, ano ba yung Laurus Enterprises na yan? And because of them, dumadami yung mga tao na nakakakilala kay Laurus Enterprises. And you, friends like you, who never doubted me, who has always been there to truly push me also. Kasi itong moment na to, Chris, before nag-start tayo, nandun yung little voice ko na, Joanna, sasabihin mo. Okay? But then, you keep on assuring me na, friend, kaya mo yan. Ang dami mong sinabi sa akin. And that alone is so huge na for me, Chris. And I'm really grateful. There's just too many people na I want to, kung hindi ko po kayo na-mention, please forgive me. And all the people also, Chris, I want to thank all the people who gave me the hardships. those people that at one point in my life bullied me. Because of you, you toughened me up. I became this strong. I became this courageous because of you guys. So thank you so much.
Amazing, friend. Wala akong masabi sa thank you mo. But of course, since you've mentioned a while ago about Laurus, so can you share to us something about your company, or maybe you would like to plug some of your events right now? And medyo emphasize ko lang Joana is blessed because she is a blessing to everyone. So all those she'd mentioned and failed to mention, she is so much grateful for all of your support to her. So let's get back. What are the things that people can expect from Laurus?
Oh, right now, because we are in the events organizing company, nag-stop lang kami ng mga live events namin because of the restrictions right now. But we have transitioned to the virtual events already. Kindly follow Laurus Enterprises. You just have to look at Laurus PH on Facebook, on Instagram, on Laika, on YouTube, and you would see all the programs that we have. We have 4 or 5 programs coming in.
Okay.
Plus, also allow me to invite them to my own personal page at Joana Marie Page, and let's talk. You're going to learn a lot about leadership, business, and even relationships from my page.
All right, thank you. We will try to plug that on those screen, those you'd mentioned, so people can really connect and get back to you. And again, it's an honor to have you, Joana, in our program. So before we end this, just a very, very quick takeaway. How did Joana became the CEO of Laurus? Number one, she has a very clear vision. So those people who are wanting to have a big goal, big dream became a reality, number one, you have to have a clear vision, just like what Joana did. And number two, continuous learning, master your craft. She'd mentioned several books, trainings and all, because the only way you can get the best reward from the industry or from the business is to be the best person that you are already. And of course, as she had mentioned, for those people who made her life extra hard, bullied, or disappointments, especially right now that we are all experiencing this pandemic, keep in mind that this is just a season. Seasons past. What you need to do is capitalize on what you are experiencing right now, because you know what? This hardship that you are experiencing will be your success story in the future. Just like what Joana experienced from her past, it could have, stopped her from her track, but actually it made her a better individual. And lastly, of course, whatever the challenges that you are facing, please always keep this in mind. It's molding you to become a better individual. All right, so before we end this program, we have a very simple token of appreciation for our guest. This is a sponsor from Claypel, owned by Miss Sue Morales. I hope you would like what is inside. Basically, this is a portrait of you. Yes, but you need to build it yourself. Yeah, so it's your own self-portrait painting. It's from Claypel. Thank you, Ma'am Sue Morales. And a small token of appreciation from Ipwi. Yan. Thank you, Joana. And of course, for all our audience and for all our viewers, self-made will never be possible if we don't have people like you who is also dreaming, wanting, and sooner or later in the future would want to become a self-made individual as well. Because again, this is Chris, your host, and I firmly believe that if I can, Joana can, you can now. So let's hope that we can guest again Joana in the future. So it's an honor and a pleasure to have Joana as our pilot episode guest. Of course, we are expecting that in the future we can have her again as our guest. And before anything else, let's ask for some closing, inspiring message to Joana.
Thank you so much, Chris, once again. And thank you for the gift. That's so generous of you and your sponsor, friend. So allow me to close this session with reminding you once again that always remember, day in, day out, you are magnificently and beautifully created for a purpose. Whatever it is that's happening in your life, they are meant to be so that you can become a better person tomorrow. Keep on investing on yourself. attend trainings, read a lot of books, meet wonderful, amazing people who can help you or would mold you to the person that you want to be. Importantly, Chris, forgive yourself as you forgive others. Okay? We're human. Marami kang magagawang pagkakamali along your journey. Marami kang mga bagay na masasabi o magagawa that might not be okay with other people, and that is okay. You have to learn to forgive yourself because the more habang kinikarry mo lahat ng mga baggages of blame and guilt and doubt and all these fears in you, hindi mo ma-actualize kung ano yung person that the universe created you for. Invest in yourself, believe in yourself always, because until you do, people won't believe and buy into you.
Grabe, friend. Sa mga listener natin, I hope you absorb all those things she'd mentioned. Amazing. And of course, before we end the program, we'd like to inform you that for our next episode, we will guest the president of Green Circle Realty. His name is Mr. Billy Gabriel Dominguez, and he has a very good story on how he became the president of Green Circle, and I'm sure you're interested to learn from here as well. So catch us on August 12, same time, and of course, here in Self-Made, Chris as your host, I firmly believe that if I can, Joanna can, you can now.